Hello, this tutorial shows how to use developers.tpay.me version 1.0.beta, which is an application that helps developers to integrate faster to TPay APIs. Developers.tpay.me is an application for developers made by developers, where you can simulate, test, generate code snippets of difficult parts in order to have faster and smooth integration with TPay APIs. This app consists of three main sections. The left navigation sidebar, where you can choose the business scenarios you want to implement. The main canvas, where you will find the steps needed to implement the selected business scenario. And most of the steps contains the right side panel, where it shows auto-generated JSON request body that should be sent to our APIs, the API response, and generates code as well to calculate the difficult parts in our integration. Now, let's try using developers.tpay.me. I will be showing you how to make use of all the available features in our new app by showing an example of calling the subscription APIs. But before going into the example, make sure you have these prerequisites. Log into our staging environment using the credentials shared before by the integration team. Second, make sure to have the public and private keys shared by integration team related to your staging environment. And the last thing, you should have a general understanding about catalogs, products, and subscription plan management. You can read more about them on docs.tpay.me. Let's start our example. Open TPay staging dashboard. Now we want to create a catalog. Click on catalogs. Catalog is a group of products to be sold into a specific operator. As we see here, there is a catalog per operator. Click on Add or Edit Catalog. It's preferable to make the catalog name the name dash the operator and country. For example, let's name it Games dash Orange Egypt. Then select the operator. The payment method is direct billing. Then save changes. Now we have a catalog named Games-Orange-Egypt. Now it's turn to create a product. For example, we will be selling cards. Click on products. Here we will see all the products we have, so we can edit them. Click on add or edit a product. The product name will be game cards. This is the name that will be sent to end users via any SMS from TPay, sent from TPay. And the product SKU is the product ID, which we will need in our APIs. Let the SKU be game underscore cards, as it will be like a product ID that will be sent to our APIs, so it's preferable to be one word. Then you will find below a matrix. This matrix consists of combination between the product catalog and the operator and the integration channel, and by setting a price for this combination, it means that the product game cards will be sold in Mobinil Egypt under the catalog Games Orange Egypt. Let's assume it will be for 1 EGP. Not setting the price, it means that this product will not be sold under that perimeter. Then click Save Changes. Now we have a catalog. This catalog is Games-Orange-Egypt. This is the name we will need when calling our APIs. Let's take it in a notepad. And the products, we have the game cards with product SKU game_cards. The last point is the subscription plan. Click on subscriptions, then click on subscription plans. I already configured a subscription plan. In order to learn how to configure a subscription plan, please check docs.tpay.me and search for how to manage or create a subscription plan. And all what we need from the subscription plan, if we clicked on edit, we will know how this subscription plan works. Its frequency is weekly, and these are the settings that are written in detail in the document published on docs.tpay.me. Then back to subscription plans. All what we need from here is the subscription plan ID. We will copy it and paste it as well with the data needed. As you see here, I have my public and private keys related to my account integration test at tpay.me that is created on the staging environment and shared by the integration team. Now we are ready to start calling the APIs of TPay. For that example, we will be calling the APIs of subscription parking period. So let's go now to developers.tpay.me. Click on subscription with parking period. This is the flow we are going to simulate. Here you will find a disclaimer that says if we are going to use Postman to simulate the API calls, that we need to copy a generated body. We will see how to work with Postman later. Then we will find here 3 tabs which are the verification ways available in this business scenario. So we have the 3 verification ways, either Wi-Fi, if you are connected through Wi-Fi and will verify the subscription using PIN code, or the header enrichment, or the MO. Each one of them will show the steps needed to be implemented in order to make this integration successfully. The first step is a step that contains some links on how to create a catalog, a product, and the subscription plan. All these articles are in our online knowledge base docs.tpay.me. You can check any of them. For example, this is how to define catalog through TPay's dashboard with the screenshots that will help you use our dashboard in very easy way. Then add subscription contract is the first step we need to simulate. So click on the step. It will show the right sidebar, which contains the JSON request body that it's needed to be sent in when calling the APIs, we will find here the REST API URL, which is the URL that you will be sending the request. It's the URL of our API, and this is the verb you will be communicating the API with. And you will find a .NET Fiddle link which contains a sample code of how to calculate the signature. You will find here how you will calculate the signature, which is mandatory to be sent with the request. Okay, so let's start filling the request data. We will take the public key and private key. This data should be shared in a separate email sent by the integration team. Customer account number is a unique number at your site in order to it's like an ID on your site for the subscription you are going to create at TPay. So let's assume that it's 01. The MSISDN is the mobile number. So as you can see, changing any of the fields, it generates the JSON request body that should be sent. The operator code, we will write the operator code related to Orange Egypt. You can find all the operator codes over internet. The subscription plan ID, we will take it from the notepad we already created on our dashboard. The initial payment product ID, it will be the product ID we want. This means for the first time I pay, I will use this product. And for the recurring payment product ID, which means the product I will be charging the user in later subscription cycles, will be also game cards. For example, if your initial payment is £1 and each week we will deduct £1 again from the end user, so initial payment product ID and recurrent payment product IDs should be the same. The product catalog name is Games Orange Egypt. The language English. You will find here that the language is mapped to numbers, so Arabic 2, French 3, English 1. The request type is parking period. The difference between the parking period and free start period, you can find it on docs.tpay.me as well. So we will select parking period. Here we will find that execute initial payment now marked as it should be false. This business scenario, from its prerequisites, that we will not charge the user once he subscribes, so we will mark it as false. Then auto renew contract, allow multiple free start periods. All of these are generating the request body. Then we will start, we will choose the contract start date, which is today. This error is shown because we didn't set the time yet, so we can select 23rd for the sake of the demo or tutorial. Okay, then contract end date. It shows an error that the contract end date should be after 1 year from the contract start date, so we select the year. The contract end date, it means that when will TPay remove this subscription or stop charging this subscription. So it is not related to the frequency of the subscription plan itself. It's a different thing. Then initial payment date, which means when is the first time I will try to charge him. It will be the same as the contract start date. Once done, you will find that the message signature, which is the signature field we have here, is auto calculated, and you will find the signature here. So when you write the code to generate the signature, you can compare the end result with this one, so you can know what is the exact calculation for the digest or signature that you should be, and the message used in generating the signature is populated as well, so you can compare and know if you are calculating the message and the signature correctly or not. And you will find that call API button and generate digest code are clickable now. So by clicking on call API, it calls the API and it returned an error that please enter valid phone number for the selected mobile operator. So let's check the number. Okay, it's missing one number. Now it should work. When we change this, already the digest and the signature should be changed as well. Then let's call the API again. Okay, this means operation status code equals 0. This means that we created a successful subscription at our staging environment. The subscription contract ID is the ID of the subscription contract that you should store in your database in order to sync between our subscription contracts and the contracts you have at your database. The next payment date, and this is the response you have. Okay, here we can copy the response or the request, and let's see, this is the request and this is the response. This is important when you need to use Postman instead of using our sandbox application. Here is the message digest. The last button here is generate digest code. When we click on it, it generates C# code that calculates the digest with the fields. It shows all the code needed, filling it with the values entered in the application, writing a working code. We can try it by, let's copy this code and open .NET Fiddle. This code as well will be available in PHP. So if you paste this code and run, it should calculate the same digest. So this will make your integration much more faster, because the signature calculation is from the most difficult parts our partners face while integrating with TPay. So then close. Okay, by adding the subscription contract successfully, we should receive an SMS containing a PIN code for verification. This SMS should be available from our dashboard. We can select the operator and search. Okay, it got me the pin code I need, so I will take the pin code as copy paste, then return back to developers, go to the next step of verification. It also needs the subscription, the parking public key, private key, subscription contract ID, which we got from the previous step, and the pin code we have. Make sure to remove the spaces because it, as it appears here, it can change the digest, which will give us an invalid digest error. So make sure to remove all spaces. Then we will take the subscription contract ID and public and private keys. The signature is calculated dynamically. Message, call API when we click on it. It means returning 0, it means that the subscription contract is activated successfully. And generate digest code, it will generate the code needed for this part to calculate its digest or signature. By returning back to our tip dashboard, click on subscriptions, subscription contracts, filter, and let's select the operator filter. Okay, here it shows the subscription contract we created and the status is active, the start date, end date, the recurrent product ID, product catalog name, the MSISDN used to create this subscription. Now let's see how can we work with Postman. Actually, Postman will be doing the same as this tool, but Postman most important feature that it shows any developer. It's like a common language, common tool. All developers using APIs or integrating to APIs are using it. So it shows more details to any developer. So let's click here on running Postman. It will open a pop-up either to use it for Chrome or Windows. So we will click on Windows. Okay, it said that TPay subscription with parking period is imported successfully, which is this one. Here it contains the 3 APIs that needs to be called. That subscription contract we saw, verify, and the send free empty, which is used to send caring messages or welcome messages to our end users. So if we click on add subscription contract, it shows here a subscription contract request containing a description. Here this is the URL of the API, the verb is post, the headers is application / JSON, and the body. Here you will find the default body that should be sent, and this body type is raw and it's JSON. So we can copy from developers the request body we want, and let's paste it here. This should returns us an error because we have already a successful and active subscription created. So let's click on send. So it returned an error, which is operation status code 51. The user already subscribed to the given product. So this makes the integration to any developer much more easier because he knows the URL, verb, the body, and the body is generated from at developers.tpy.me, and he can move faster with his integration. Hopefully this tutorial showed you all the features in developers.tpy.me and how to use them, how to use Postman in running or simulating your API calls. A lot of features are going to be published on developers.tpy.me. Stay tuned.